All right, guys, we're heading out to test the AEA Challenger 22 Pro. Absolutely love this gun. But before we get into the video and check out all the details, I first want to give a proper shout out to my boy Ben at the Pellet Shop. I highly recommend this guy. He's a great guy. He's honest and he is customer service oriented. I think that's something you guys all want to hear. Everybody wants to hear that because we seem to be lacking that in the industry. It's like they take your money and you get your products whenever, or you get people that don't exactly tell the truth. I hear these complaints from different people all the time, so I know the complaints are out there. Anything airgun related, give Ben a call at the Pellet Shop, email him, call, order stuff. I think you guys are going to be quite happy. I know I am. All right, guys, getting back to the video. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What we have here is the AEA Challenger Pro in 22 caliber. Okay guys, let's go ahead and take a quick look at everything that I have on this gun. I'll be providing some close-up shots of most of the stuff. Let's go ahead and talk about the gun. Let's go ahead and get into the review. So what we have is the standard AEA Challenger Pro 22, okay? I have not done any barrel swaps. I haven't done any of the weird stuff that I normally do. What I'm trying to provide you guys with is more videos on basic guns, the way they come from the factory, with all the tuning that they allow from a stock gun. That way you, the viewer, can go purchase the same gun, do the same thing that me and countless other people have done, and be successful at tuning your gun. This gun is not very hard to tune, but let's go ahead and go over some of the features. The rifle comes with a 300cc reservoir. It is regulated right here. Here's your plenum. Your valve is here. This gun it's listed at 80 foot-pounds. The listing is not right. If you do the math, what they have listed is not right, but I can tell you guys from the factory, full power, where the reg is set, which I think is about 175 bar. With these gauges, it's hard to tell, and I think everybody in the airgun world knows that. But around 170 bar, with the power adjuster wide open, this gun was making 80, right at 84, it's like 83.6 foot-pounds. So it made above the listed foot-pounds of energy, and I'm pretty sure it's got a lot more in it. It does have the soft spring, so for you guys wondering, well, it's got the heavy spring. It came with the soft spring. I would assume it's the soft spring because in the bag it says heavy spring, and I have not installed that spring. This is the way the gun came from the factory. So it does have an adjustable regulator. I'll kind of show you guys here by flipping the gun around. If you just crack the regulator gauge, which is this gauge right here, just open it up, let it bleed out. Do not do the main gauge, do the regulator pressure gauge. Crack it, let it bleed out, unscrew the tube. Your regulator sticks out right here at the bottom. You turn it clockwise for less power, counterclockwise for more power. And you only turn a 16th to an 1/8 at a time, and unfortunately, you have to rescrew the tube back on, refill the gun to see where you're at and go by the gauge. Or you go by speed. I like it to be wide open, and I just use the reg to increase or decrease pressure, therefore making more or less power. Anyway, moving on from that. So going back to the power, I tuned the gun to shoot NSA 31.2 grain hollow point slugs at 218 diameter. I've found that this gun likes 218 more than 217.5, 217, 216. So that's the slug I'm shooting. Today we're gonna shoot those on video, and we're also gonna test the Jumbo Beast 33.95 grains. Let's move back to more features. So what I have on the gun is I removed the stock buttstock, the OEM buttstock. It grabbed what little beard I have, it kept grabbing it. I didn't like it. It's too small for my face, so I wanted something with an adjustable cheek riser. So of course I went to Magpul and got the PRS Lite. So that's what it is. Yes, this fits on the buffer tube. You don't need to buy a new buffer tube. If you're interested in this Magpul, any Magpul is gonna fit the OEM buffer tube. Moving forward, everybody has a problem with the foldable stock. When you have it fully extended, when you put your shoulder to it, it wobbles. The gun, click, click, click. What I did was I took about 40 thousandths, I think, if I remember right, of shim and stuck it in here. I do not fold the gun down. I always leave my gun extended because it has a case. So now moving forward, we have the cocking lever here, very smooth. Uncock it, hold it, squeeze the trigger and let it forward. Very nice, very smooth, not rough at all. For guys that are saying it's got that little do, you can, because it's new. You have to break these things in, man. New machine parts, they do that. Right now, this thing has been cycled a lot and it's butter smooth. Your power adjuster is here. This gun comes with a Picatinny base. I have the beautiful Swfa 12x42 scope. Love these scopes, love these scopes. And of course I have the Eagle Vision adjustable rings, which I absolutely love. So we talked about the regulator. You got the AEA pistol grip here. I don't think this is AR-15 because there's like a nylon insert here, and this grip goes over that insert and screws to it. So I don't think this is AR-15. I could be mistaken. I don't think that it is. So I left mine standard. I have no problems with the grip. This gun is basically stock except this and the Don AFL, which we'll get to. You have your air tube here. This is 22, so you do get 12 shots. You get 2 magazines, 12 shots. Here's your shroud. It just covers the barrel. And at the very end, what you're gonna need is a Don AFL Challenger Pro threaded adapter to convert the 14 millimeter to half inch, half by 20. And then of course I have the Ronin, which keeps this thing quiet. Here you have your regulated pressure gauge, and under the bottom here you have your main tube pressure gauge, and also with this gun you get your fill nipple. I leave it inserted, that way I never lose it, and yes, it does fit in there tight. It does not come out. I've walked around plenty with this gun and I've had no problems. And that's pretty much everything, guys. Very simple gun, very straightforward. Not a lot of bells and whistles, not a lot of gimmicks. As far as how many shots I get, I'm getting about 2 magazines. I'm gonna retest that because I haven't done the testing with the gun turned down. That was when the reg was set at 175 or 170. Let's go ahead, guys. That's it for the details on the gun. Let's go ahead and shoot some targets, sight her in at 60 yards and see how accurate she is. We'll be back. Okay guys, to cut down on time, again, we're just going to focus on the NSA 31.2 grain slugs. I wanted this gun specifically to shoot slugs, to be a high-powered slug shooter and not a pellet shooter. Alright guys, after shooting a 5-shot group, you know it's reactive target time. So let's go ahead and shoot this 60-yard cup of grapefruit that's been in my truck for 2 weeks straight, and move on to some eggs at 112 yards. Of course y'all know we have to watch that again in slow motion. All right, it's 112 yards, 2.4 mil, BC of 0.095. It is dead on with street lock. There's 2, there's 1.5, there's 1, there's 0.5 mil, and there's 0 back to sight in at 60 yards. 1, 2, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. As easy as that. Oh my God. Dead on, bro. Wow. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do a final overview of the gun, what I think about the gun. First and foremost, I've been waiting on this gun for quite some time since they released it. Out of all the guns they had, I really like the design of this one. Something a little bit more compact, not the long typical, you know, kind of out of the box thinking as far as the way it looks. I was attracted to it since day one. So I knew I wanted this gun, and I got it, and I'm quite happy with it, guys. I am quite happy with it. She's a shooter, she's a looker, she's a keeper. Now the gun is about 9.2 pounds, 9.5 pounds with a scope. That's another pound, plus a Don AFL, another pound. So you're looking at 10, 11 and a half pounds with the bipod and all that stuff too. It doesn't feel that heavy, guys, and it could just be me. I'm used to heavy guns, but it's not crippling heavy. It feels good to me. You know, the AEA guns, I know the 2 that I have, they are a little heavy, on the heavier side for typical air guns, but I personally don't have a problem carrying them. One of the things you guys definitely have well, 3 things that you guys definitely have to change on this gun. One is the ping. When you shoot this gun, it pings, and it rings, and it rings, and it rings, and it rings. What I did was I got a piece of and I put that inside of here. I think it's 2-inch outside diameter. Cut it down the center, you know, cut it 3 inches long, cut it straight down the center, and then fold it over itself, and then trim some off of here. That way you can fold it and it fits inside of the tube. So hopefully that'll make sense, but that took a lot of the ping out of the gun, a lot. World of difference, guys, world of difference. So you need to shim the break point, the pivot point in the folding connector. You might or might not want to change the actual buttstock itself. And the other thing that you're definitely gonna need, a new trigger job. 4.5 pounds, guys. This trigger was 4.5 pounds from the factory. I changed out a spring, and I also polished the pivot points and contact points in the trigger mechanism in the sear, and that lightened it down to like 2 point, I forgot what it was, 2.4, 2.5. I'll put up video here. So it's basically a little over 2 pounds. Doesn't bother me at all. The last thing I'm waiting on for David Bleakley over at Black Arts Design is a barrel band for this thing. This gun's already a tack driver. When I get the Black Arts Design barrel band, it's gonna be scary how accurate this gun is gonna be. So thanks for joining me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned next for the field portion testing, and you guys know what that means. Good slow motion vids coming up. All right, guys, see you on the next one. Peace.